What's up, everybody? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Blunt and Sports Talk, back again with another Panthers video. And today we're talking about the two star receivers drafted in the 2018 draft class, DJ Moore for the Carolina Panthers and Calvin Ridley for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, these two guys are divisional opponents, and since the week is coming up that they'll be facing each other, I thought it'd be a good time to revisit some discussions about what actually happened in the draft and how these guys' careers have panned out so far and who's had a better career thus far. So before we get into that, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up, because I do recap and analysis of the NFL, in particular the Panthers, and I do live streams weekly after the games, live streams on Wednesday to talk about all NFL news, film breakdowns during the week, and all kind of other stuff. So make sure you guys are subscribed and hit the bell icon to get notifications every time I drop those videos, so you'll be the first ones to see those. Let's go ahead and get into it, because these two guys are big time wide receivers early on in their career. They're both in their third year, and going back to that 2018 draft, the Carolina Panthers drafted before the Atlanta Falcons, and we knew the Panthers wanted to make some picks to give some weapons to Cam Newton at that time, and the top two receivers in that draft class were no doubt DJ Moore and Calvin Ridley. I myself personally thought we were going to take Calvin Ridley, but we decided to go with DJ Moore. But I'm curious to get you guys' opinion. Let me know down below in the comments. Who do you think is the better wide receiver right now? And who do you think will have a better career overall when it's all said and done? Because these guys have kind of been neck and neck when it comes to a number standpoint. So I'm curious to get you guys' opinion on how you feel about them. So the motivation for the Carolina Panthers to take DJ Moore over Calvin Ridley was just because of skill set and fit for the system. See, at the time, Ron Rivera had Norv Turner and Cam Newton as his quarterback, and they wanted to practice on getting some weapons that Cam Newton can get the ball off to quickly that can make things happen after the catch. In the previous year draft, they had drafted Christian McCaffrey, one of the better, of course, receiving running backs in NFL history, a guy that you can throw the ball too short and he can do some things with it after he catches it. The same thing was the reason with DJ Moore. They also liked his toughness, his size, and his yards after catch ability, which was his big selling point coming out. In my opinion, I think Calvin Ridley was and is the better pure wide receiver when it comes to fundamentals, route running, and being able to run the whole route tree as a whole precisely. DJ Moore may be a better playmaker overall because he can do certain things, like I said, with the ball in his hands and just breaking tackles. However, when it comes to a precision offense and a timing offense, something to what the Falcons have, Calvin really seemed to be the better fit and the better pure wide receiver when you think of it from that standpoint. So back after the NFL draft in 2018, I made a video on my channel, and if you've been watching long enough, you probably saw it, and I wanted to predict who would have a better rookie year. And I chose DJ Moore just because I thought he was walking into a scenario where he was going to be counted on a lot more than Calvin Ridley. That's because at the time, the Panthers only had Devin Funchess, and he was still unproven when it comes to being a number one wide receiver. Even though he had more size, they still haven't given him a chance to be that guy. DJ Moore was going to be leaned on heavily, especially being picked that high, to be the guy that Cam can count on. Calvin Ridley, however, was walking to a scenario where behind Mohamed Sanu and Julio Jones, he might have been the third option, so he may not see as much action even in a pass-heavy offense. Come to find out, I was wrong, because Calvin Ridley had the better year. He edged out DJ Moore in receptions and yards, and he was head over heels more productive when it comes to getting in the end zone. But from an overall body of work standpoint, and when you look at the numbers, you can see that Calvin Ridley and DJ Moore's numbers have been eerily similar when it comes to a per game basis. The only big difference is that Calvin Ridley is a touchdown maker and DJ Moore has struggled to make that happen. Now, I don't blame DJ Moore for this, because when you look at the two scenarios, Calvin Ridley came into a system where he was playing for his former college offensive coordinator at the time, who was Steve Sarkisian. He was going to be the third option in a pass heavy offense, like I said, and he had a more capable quarterback with Matt Ryan, who people love or hate Matt Ryan. He does get it done when it comes to throwing the ball in the air. So the opportunities were definitely there for Calvin to be efficient and productive. And that's exactly what he did. DJ Moore didn't get blessed with the same stability at quarterback, because at that time when he got drafted, Cam Newton ended up getting hurt halfway through the year, and then he had a little bit of Taylor Heinicke, Kyle Allen, and of course a little bit of Will Grier on the back end. So the stability at quarterback has been a little bit different until lately with Teddy Bridgewater. But no knock to DJ, because he did have his first 1,000-yard season last year in his sophomore campaign, something that Calvin really has yet to touch. Not to mention in his third year, DJ Moore is on pace to smash his old numbers from last year, and including adding on to that touchdown total that he struggled to do so much. I mean, both guys have really shined this year, and for Calvin, I have to say a lot of his success has to come to Julio. Julio has been hurt this year, so when Julio's not there, somebody has to get those extra targets and extra receptions, and Calvin really has filled in notably, has gotten in the end zone, has gotten plenty of yards, and has been very, very efficient. And also, he benefits when Julio is playing, because when Julio's in, he's definitely one of the best wide receivers in the league. Of course, he commands a lot of attention. That gives Calvin Ridley single coverage, and he can really take advantage of that playing in that number 2 receiver spot. For the Panthers, DJ Moore has struggled early on getting ingratiated with Teddy Bridgewater, but has slowly but surely started to make big plays that we haven't really seen from him thus far in his career, and it seems like they may be starting to get on the same page finally. But right now, it's a tough decision to choose who is the better wide receiver at the time. But if you put a gun to my head, I would probably say Calvin Ridley. And that's simply just because Calvin Ridley has scored so many more touchdowns than DJ Moore. So you can't argue with the guy that puts up points on the board. But don't sleep on DJ, because it seems like there was always more meat left on the bones for him in these past 2 years. And it seems like with him and Teddy Bridgewater kind of getting on the same page, we're finally getting to really see DJ take his game to the next level and see what he's really capable of. But these guys have made crazy progress in such a short time in their career, and I could easily see them pushing each other for the next 8, 9, 10 years to see who's going to be the best wide receiver in the division, man. Calvin Ridley's progress is evident just by seeing that he decreased his drop percentage from 10% in his rookie year all the way down to 1.5% in this current year. And that's something that plagued him for a little bit. So to see him actually progress and get better with his concentration in his hands is a good sign. DJ Moore's season is shaping up to be a career year again, because he's on pace for almost 1,300 yards. And to hit a touchdown total, that would be more than his first 2 seasons combined. So you got to like to see DJ Moore finally finding a way to get into that end zone. But you guys let me know down below in the comments, who do you think is the better receiver, and who do you think will end up being the best receiver as they go on in their career? But to me, I'm going to be looking forward to making these updates year after year and just kind of comparing these two apples to apples, because they were drafted right after each other in the draft. So to me, I'm going to keep an eye on both of them and just to see, did the Panthers make the right decision by drafting DJ Moore over Calvin Ridley? Only time will tell. But without further ado, I'm Aaron Duncan signing off for the Necessary Button to Sports Talk. I'll see you next time. Peace.